Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have another special guest on. And this special guest, I think, has so many aspects to her story, from her background to the business that she started, even just fighting through a life-threatening a situation that I'll let her tell you what that was. So, welcome to the show, Chris-Tia.
Hi, Terrell. How are you today?
I am great. I'm very glad to have you on the show because definitely your profile stood out to my wife. And as soon as she sent it to me and I looked at it, I was like, I got to have her on the show. So, can you tell us a little bit about your background before you started your business?
Absolutely. So, long story short, I graduated from Harvard College and Harvard Law School in the early 2000s. So, I won't date myself, but that was almost 20 years ago. And when I was graduating and starting, my first law firm career here in the city of Chicago, I felt an extreme amount of pressure to wear my hair straight because back then, a lot of the advice and guidance, Black folks were getting going into corporate America is you want to look like them as much as you can. You want to talk like them. You want to sound like them. You don't want to stand out for any reason. And at that time, I was in the midst of going natural. And so I opted to wear a wig to keep my hair looking, as uncontroversial as possible. And it turns out at the end of that first year on the job, my boss basically gave me this poor review and told me I did not have what it took to be successful from there. And I left that job never wanting to apologize for who I was as a Black woman again and setting out on this mission to see if I could not only write a book to help Black women figure out how to wear their hair the way it came out of their head, but also creating products such as TGIN, which many people know today, that would help them to not only feel confident in their curls, but be comfortable putting products on their skin that they felt were safe.
Gotcha. Now, what was that journey like? And I guess just really expressing yourself in the book. Like, what was that? Was it therapeutic, or was it tough, or how did you navigate that process?
So this is actually, I wrote two books. The first one was about hair. The second one was about breast cancer. And the first book was very much, I wouldn't say it was as therapeutic. It was more so I was up against a challenge and I thought it was going to be more of a pamphlet that would help other women who were facing the same challenge. So I was like, yeah, I'll write this like 20-page guide and give them advice on how to take care of their hair. And it ended up being like a 350-page
Wow.
manual and went on to become called the Natural Hair Bible by Essence Magazine. Now, the second book I wrote was when I got breast cancer for the first time. And that book was really therapeutic for me because I had spent so many years just putting so much pressure on myself, working so hard, running this race, and for what and why. I didn't know why I was doing it. A lot of it had to do with the pressure that came with growing up in a family of people that was so successful. But that one was very therapeutic. And I wrote that, like I said, for my own healing process to realize it's not about being successful, it's about living life on your own terms.
Wow. Now, at what point in, I guess you say, your career or your business journey did, you have the battle with breast cancer?
Oh my goodness. It has been a roller coaster, if you will, but an awesome one. I know that sounds crazy, but I tell people 2015 was the best year of my life and the worst year of my life. And March 1st of 2015, I found out we were in Target, if you will. That was a huge accomplishment
Wow.
for us, launching 250 stores nationwide. 9 months later, at the age of 36, I was diagnosed with breast cancer for the
Wow.
first time. So you were like, well, when did this happen? Well, to be honest, it has been like an ongoing roller coaster, if you will, over the years. But surprisingly, like, I'm just like, I look good, I'm thriving, I'm healthy. My doctors are like, you're kind of a miracle, thanks to God. Like, it doesn't matter what the test results say or what anything says. It's like you're walking around, you're kicking ass, you're saying your prayers, and everything looks amazing. And so it's just one of those things. I think it's been a blessing for me because it glorifies what God has done in my life, and for people to see that it doesn't matter what you're going through, like, it's all about perspective.
Wow, I think that is amazing. I mean, because there are a lot of people who face different challenges, and I mean, it just pretty much they would have just said, "All right, I'm done with the business. I'm just going to focus on this." But the fact that you're able to, like I said, is continue working through that roller coaster and just making the most of it says a whole lot about you.
No, I think it does. And I think for me personally, like, you would think, okay, how does this person go on and then up and down on this roller coaster in this journey? And it's because it's like, I love what I do. Like, I love waking up. I love, getting up every morning, thanking God for like the blessings that I'm here, that I have an amazing team, that the company is growing. It's like, I feel no matter what, I have so much to live for. And you look at people, and I hate to say this, like Kobe Bryant had an amazing career, snapped out of the blue, out of nowhere. And I'm here still kicking and whatever, no regrets, no anything. And so life, we don't know when any of our time is coming. And the point is, you just got to live every day and just consider every day a blessing. And I think because of my battle and journey over the years, I like literally live every day to the fullest.
Wow, I think that is awesome. So tell us a little bit about, what that journey was like leading up to, having your product in Target, and just, what were the early days like of your business?
Oh, honey, the early days and the late days and the middle days, they all the same. Crazy. But the early days, I think I was fooled into believing that because it was the beginning, that this was the hard part and it's only going to get easier, if you will. So I'm thinking, we got in Target. Woo, that's over. Great. I'm just like, no, it only gets crazier. So going into Target was hard because one of the financing, it's a very expensive endeavor to get in. Two, you have to have the team to help you make sure you're shipping on time, getting products into the store, making sure you stay on shelf. A lot of people think, oh, I got into Target, I've made it. Well, no, you got a lot of hard work because Target puts you there, but it's really your job to keep yourself there with the marketing, the product development, the innovation, the social media and all of that. And so that was kind of what the issue was getting into the store back then. But today, we've kind of overcome some of those hurdles, but we still face a lot of them. Again, same thing with other issues. It's a nonstop roller coaster every day. It's not like, oh, I'm done with, getting in a Target. It's like, no, the challenges in the mountains only get bigger and bigger in business. And you just have to learn to persevere every single day and be creative and flexible and innovative about getting things done.
Absolutely. So what were some of the, or I guess say, one or two of the challenges that you kind of faced in that, from a business perspective, and was like, hey, we have to figure this out if we're going to move forward?
I think one of the biggest challenges you face is the growth, if you will. So like I said, we started in 250 stores, which is great. And then you get into 500 stores, which is even better. But all the money you made off of the 250 stores really isn't anything, because now you got to take that money and put it into the 500 doors. So as you continue to grow and scale up, you have to reinvest that money in the business. So it always feels, to be honest, to business owners that are watching, it's like you're never making any money because you're always recycling that dollar to grow. So like I said, if we want to stay at the same size, we have so much more money in the bank. But if you're always trying to get to that next level, more products, more shelf space, more SKUs, more marketing, more customers, or all the profit from last year, you got to put it back into the business to take it to the next level. So I think that was one of the things that surprised me. And the second thing is, how amazing my team ceases to, surprise me, because none of us know what we're doing. Half the time, none of us have been formally trained in any of these activities, and yet we get it done. And so TGIN is very much a place where you got to make it happen. Like, there is no playbook, there is no manual, there's no blueprint. You can't go on Google and find a lot of the information that we do every day. And so you just have to get down and dirty and try to figure it out.
And I think that's something that becomes very common when I talk to, so many different entrepreneurs on the show, and to where people that think they want to become an entrepreneur believe that, hey, there's going to be this playbook, or there's going to be this strategy. I'm going to meet with this one person, they're going to give me the strategy, and I'm going to go and I'm just going to execute. And it's like, it's not going to be a straight line like that. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot you're going to have to figure out in the process.
Absolutely. You're constantly figuring things out. Even like right now, I sent someone an email about demand planning, which is like, when you're in one store, it's not hard to really forecast. It's because it's one store. When you're in like meaning one retail outlet, but when you're in like 10 retail outlets and some, health food stores and natural stores and other types of stores, demand planning can be really tricky. And it's funny, I was talking to a guy, and he was a demand planner for a large major company here in the United States. And he was like, even after doing it for 25 years, they still don't have it figured out. And so even large companies, don't be fooled. they are always trying to figure things out, make things up, make things happen. And so don't think, again, like you said, there's a blueprint or one way of doing things. It's true even for larger businesses as well.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that because I remember when I worked for General Electric and worked for other Fortune 500 companies, and I worked with the supplier team, and a lot of times we were trying to figure out, okay, how do we forecast, the production so we can meet the demand of our customers? And it's like when you have that many, it's like everyone behaves differently. You got to
Ah,
take in all these factors. So yeah, I definitely can understand that.
and with that, it's like things are changing every single day. Like you said, you have so many different customers. Everybody has different demands. Everyone has different requirements. Things change every single day, and no 2 days are the same.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your products. Now, what are the products that are kind of like, your top sellers or the ones that people are extremely excited about?
So our top sellers are basically three collections. The first one is the Moist collection, which is focused on moisturized and manageable hair. The second one is our Repair collection, which is what it basically speaks to, which is healthy hair, hair that has needed a kind of comeback from like color treatment, heat damage, protective styling, that type of thing. And the third collection is our lightweight collection, Curls and Roses. And again, very obvious title, lightweight curls and roses, for someone who isn't looking for heavier items that kind of weigh their hair down. All the products are now pretty much found in major retail, but some of our top retail partners are Ulta, Target, and Walmart and Sally Beauty.
Awesome. So now if someone wanted to follow, to visit your website or they want to follow you on social media to see how the journey is going, where can they find you?
So you can find me personally on Instagram at TGIN CEO. The company is found on Instagram at TGI Natural. Our website is Thank God It's Natural. And then finally, my second book, This Is Only a Test, What Breast Cancer Taught Me About Faith, Love, Hair, and Business, is now on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, before we wrap up, one of the questions that I like to ask, all of the guests that come on is when you think about, your journey as an entrepreneur and just navigating that, what are two lessons that you've kind of learned in your journey that you say, what, other entrepreneurs should definitely grasp these lessons or learn them at some point if they want to be successful?
I think the first one is you got to slow down to speed up, because like I said, when I got into Target that first time, worked so hard because I thought, this is the finish line. Yeah! Oh, honey, no. And so I wish I would have known that this is a very long game and you got to slow down and speed up. Take your time. Just, take one day at a time and know that there is no finish line. Like the finish line keeps moving. And the second thing is team is so important. Team and chemistry within your organization. At TGIN, we're very clear on who does well here, because we make sure we have a set of values that we lay out and share with people throughout the hiring process. But team is so critical to the success of any organization. And I would tell people, don't skip or scrimp on the B's and the C's. Look for A talent, because that will really take your organization to the next level. And that's why, like, I love a good A. I love a good A. A B, but I love a good A. A C, it's not going to work. You're going to be out of here in 60 to 90 days. And we may be cool. And you might like me and I might like you. But, like, you know what? The business comes first. So, yeah.
I love the honest and the real advice because, one of those big things that, that I looked at when starting this show was, how do you have real conversations about, entrepreneurship and business ownership? Because I think a lot of times, a lot of people don't really hear the real side of what it's like. And then they start a business and then they either don't become successful because of things they're not doing, or when they start seeing like, this is what it takes to be successful, I don't know if I really want to do this because I wasn't prepared. So I love the honesty.
Always. Always.
Absolutely. Well, Chris-Tia, thank you so much for coming on to the show, sharing your journey and also just sharing your wisdom and your insight. We'll definitely keep an eye on what's going on with you and the continual success of your business.
Terrell, thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing, and good luck and congratulations with everything.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to click the subscribe button and follow us on all social media platforms as the Business Talk Library.